Always do that. I'm a night rider. Every time that I go up past midnight, I swear I get higher. Swear I gotta get higher now. I'm a night rider. Every time that I give what I got, I supply that fire. I supply that fire. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Bookmarks with Bump. Happy birthday to you. Konnichiwa, you little jit. What's going on? What's up, you beautiful bookworms, and welcome back to another episode of Bookmarks with Bump. Not just any episode, this is a year's worth of threads, man. That's what we've been doing. Bookmarks with Bump is always and will always be a stream of conscious from an all-around dog. I mean, I don't know how else I can describe myself. I'm a journeyman in a trade. I'm an endurance runner and a decorated one at that. I'm a National Academy of Sports Medicine certified personal trainer. I'm this, I'm that. But right now, I am your host, Sean Bump Patrick Cote. And we're coming with a very special edition, the 52nd episode of Bookmarks with Bump. That means for 52 weeks, I've put out an episode of this podcast. I've stayed consistent time after time after time after time, and that is what we're here to talk about today. But not really. I mean, we're going to dive into a couple of threads, and that's what the show is all about. For a year now, we've been just kind of checking off the bookmarks that I've had stored away on Twitter, all of the various threads of different everything from fitness and health to conspiracy theories to history to crazy stats about anything at all. And that's what we do on this show. I put my take on my bookmarks that I've had stored away since toilet time at work. And this is a good chance for us to kind of reflect on what the show has been. I mean, for me, it's just been a great way to maintain my production and contribution to society. A lot of weeks I come on here and give helpful advice to people who may need it, and it's something that people have commended me for, and I appreciate them, and I appreciate everybody who listens on a week-to-week basis, regardless of whether or not I have helped you or whether or not you have reached out. Thank you for tuning in to just another silly show, just a silly show to pass the time on the workday, and I look back on it and go, wow, what a wild ride. I've had quite the year since I started the show last year, and to be where I am in life as well as the show, it's all onward and upward from here. I mean, things are going really well with the show, and things are going really well at work and in life. I've progressed and grown so much in this last year, and I think just this contribution to the world has been kind of what helped me put a little bit more of my foot on the gas. And here we are. We're in our own little studio. We're recording the show. We've graduated from an apprenticeship. Everything career-wise and goal-wise and hobby-wise is trending up and to the right as the stock market would climb. With racing, I mean, it's been a fun year. It's been a fun way to kind of put how I prepare out there, put the results out there, and keep myself accountable a lot. Stepped on the scale this week, dropped another 2 pounds. So we're on track to be where we want to be before we start the next training schedule on June 30th. The weather, I mean, we're breaking right into summer. And that's the thing about New England. You'll have some days it feels like spring is breaking, and then you'll have some days where it's 50 degrees. And what do you know? The next thing, you wake up Monday, it's muggy, and then by the time you get out, it's 80 degrees. In this past week, I've ran quite a bit more, and these last few runs have been exhilarating for me. It's just something about the sweat, that release you get when you're hot and you're still dogging it out. The fact that if you run at a slower pace, you're still working just as hard. And I've been maintaining just staying in the area where I live at my apartment. I'm learning a lot of hills around. So there'll be no excuses after the next race. This is where I'm running. I'm done with the trail unless it's a day for speed work. I'm doing these hills, baby. We're riding the wave. The ebbs and flows of life as they come, you can either roll with it or go through it. I'm going to do a little bit of both here. And I've seen a lot, man. And that's what it is. Like, this is 1 year for Bookmarks with Bump, 31 years for the host. I've seen a lot. I've been everywhere. I've done a lot of things. I've seen the Magna Carta. I've seen the Eye of Horus. And I was flipping bricks for Mansa Musa before y'all even became a Type 1 civilization. And speaking of Mansa Musa, that's the first thread that we're going to get into. It's not like I segued that together on purpose or anything. That was not prepared at all. The richest man in history is not Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, or Jack Ma. Even when adjusted for inflation, Mansa Musa was billions richer than all four combined. Here's the forgotten story of the richest person in human history that you should know. Mansa Musa's wealth was so vast that historians and economists still debate its true scale. Pause. Hold on. Wait a second. I forgot the disclaimer, the reminder, the most valuable one. As always, the threads are provided in the description. So hit that link, follow Bump of TTS on Twitter, hit that link again, and read along. There's always visualizations that can be added to the stories that I tell on a week-to-week basis, and I think it makes it a fun little read-along, and it makes it a little bit better for all of us. So anyway, back to the thread by Ibrahim Khan. When adjusted to modern values, his fortune dwarfs today's billionaires. He controlled resources worth more than entire countries. But who exactly was this man? Mansa Musa ruled the Mali Empire in the 14th century. His domain stretched across West Africa, controlling vast territories. Mali became one of the largest empires in Africa under his rule. There was one foundation for his unprecedented wealth: gold. Lots and lots of gold. Mali had half of the world's richest gold deposits at the time. Mansa Musa controlled these gold mines, giving him a monopoly on one of the history's most coveted resources. But it wasn't only gold that led to his immense wealth. The Mali Empire sat at the crossroads of the trans-Saharan trade routes. These ancient highways connected North and Sub-Saharan Africa. Mansa Musa taxed all trade passing through his lands. This strategic position multiplied his already vast fortune. He understood diversification before modern investors. Besides gold, Musa controlled the salt trade. Salt was highly valuable in Africa then. And if you know anything about history, salt was like one of those precious resources. It preserved food, which before the time of refrigerators was extremely necessary. Back to the thread. This created an economic system that generated immense wealth. But it wasn't gold or even salt that made him famous. It was his pilgrimage to Mecca in 1324 through 1325, which shocked the world. Mansa Musa traveled with thousands of people, and he brought so much gold that he crashed the economies of the regions he passed through. His journey became legendary. Accounts describe an enormous entourage of thousands. His caravan included countless camels carrying gold bars. Countless camels carrying gold bars. That's a bar right there. Mansa Musa gave gold to the poor in every city he visited. His generosity had unexpected consequences, however. He gave away so much gold in Cairo that he caused massive inflation. Gold's value plummeted and the economy took years to recover. This remains a remarkable example of wealth disrupting an entire economy. The effects were incredibly far-reaching. Mansa Musa's pilgrimage... These are a lot of tongue twisters. Mansa Musa's pilgrimage put Mali on the map, literally. In 1375, Mali appeared on the Catalan Atlas, one of Europe's important medieval maps. Mansa Musa was depicted holding a gold nugget, but wealth wasn't his only legacy. He was a patron of education and architecture. After his pilgrimage, Mansa Musa built mosquitoes in universities. Wow. I said built mosquitoes. He built mosques and universities. He established Timbuktu as a center of learning. That's crazy. Timbuktu is now just a pun. The manuscripts and buildings still survive today as a testament to one thing: his vision. Despite his wealth, Mansa Musa followed Islamic principles. He fulfilled zakat through massive charitable giving. He invested in education and infrastructure that benefited his people. His approach offers lessons for modern wealth. Invest in education, diversify your assets, practice generous charity, and build infrastructure that outlasts you. These principles remain relevant for building wealth today. What a sick little trip into history to learn about Mansa Musa, a dog of the 14th century. While people were beheading each other in Africa, this guy was just ruling, or while people were beheading each other in Europe, he was just ruling Africa with a golden thumb. I mean, think about that. This guy was the original Frank Lucas, running around giving gold nuggets out to people. It's crazy how it crashed economies, but money talks, baby. And I want to keep it a little bit funky this week, man. So we're going right into the dark side of the moon. You know we talk conspiracies. You know we talk history. We got the best of both worlds here today. A secret government program found an extraterrestrial civilization on the dark side of the moon in 1975. This thread is by Holden Collada. As always, links in the description. Follow along if you seem fit. They saw towers, machinery, lights of different colors, strange-looking buildings, and humanoids that looked exactly like us, allegedly. Bookmark this thread. This story is worth reading multiple times. Anyway. Ingo Swann was pivotal. I can't talk today. I'm so excited for a year birthday. Come on now. We did it a year. Imagine what the 100th episode is going to be like. So Ingo Swann, he was pivotal. He was pivotal in the development of remote viewing. He even coined the term remote viewing. What a guy. He was a key participant in the CIA's Stargate project, which studied remote viewing from the 1970s all the way until the 90s. In 1998, he published a book called Penetration, in which he described his experience remote viewing the dark side of the moon, where he allegedly saw massive structures and humanoid beings. In February 1975, Ingo Swann allegedly received a call from Washington, D.C., asking for his help on a secretive project. He was told that a Mr. Axelrod would call him, and not to ask any questions. 4 weeks later, imagine those 4 weeks waiting for this call, Mr. Axelrod called him at 3 a.m. and asked him to come to D.C. the next day. He was told to go to the Museum of Natural History at the Smithsonian, where two individuals met him and handed him a card that said, "Please do not speak or ask any questions. This is for our safety as well as yours." Swann followed them into the car outside where he was searched for weapons or bugs. Then he was handed another card. "You are being taken to a heliport for further transport. Before we reach it, we will place a hood over your head. It will be removed at your destination." He was taken to a helicopter and flew for about an hour. Then he was taken into an elevator, where he descended underground. Finally, he was sat down and had his hood removed by Mr. Axelrod, who asked him not to reveal this sequence for at least 10 years. Axel told him, "We want you to go to the moon for us and describe what you see." The next day, Swann made psychic touchdown on the moon. The first location he traveled to was on the dark side of the moon. There is not supposed to be any wind on the moon, yet I can sense something like atmosphere. He reported rows of largest tractor tread marks, but I don't understand how this could be. Swann traveled to a second location, which he could hardly even believe was on the moon. Inside of a crater, he reported a strange green haze, like a light. "I think I see some actual lights. They are giving off a green light. I see 2 rows of them, up on towers of some kind." Swann thought he had made some mistake telling Axel, "I can't be on the moon." But Axel was not at all shocked by Swann's observation. All he said was shit. There is noise of some kind, like a thumping. Swann got his first clear view of one of the light towers. It seems built on some very narrow struts of some kind, thin like pencils, tall, let's say over 100 feet. Then Swann saw a tower so tall it shocked him. If I compare it to something I'm familiar with in New York, about as high as the Secretariat building at the United Nations, which has 39 floors. Again, Axel was not at all shocked by Swan's description of a massive tower on the dark side of the moon. Swan's mind raced, trying to figure out how Americans or Soviet could have built such an immense moon base. Then the truth dawned on him. Am I to assume this stuff is not ours? Not made on Earth? Axel's only reply was quite a surprise, isn't it? The reality of what Swan was seeing suddenly overwhelmed him. He realized that he was in some sort of secret place meant to sort out extraterrestrial matters. I knew that NASA must have photographic evidence of activities on the moon, which already confirmed the presence of extraterrestrial activity there. The bottom line is that we are not alone. In some ultra-secret, presumably, a government agency goddamned well knew it. Still, Swan couldn't figure out why NASA didn't just send more moon missions to investigate, unless they somehow have told you to stay away. They've somehow got you by the balls, haven't you? That's why you are resorting to psychic perceptions. They're not friendly, are they? Axel cryptically told him that he was approximately correct, but not completely so. Swan realized that the Soviets must have encountered the same problem. You know the Russians are using psychics, and you are afraid they will get psychic moon information before we do. At this point, Swan felt like he had a grip on everything, and it left him energetically depleted. After taking a 6-hour nap to recover from his shocking discoveries, Swan returned to view the dark side of the moon in all its glory. I found towers, machinery, lights of different colors, strange-looking buildings. I found bridges whose function I couldn't figure out. There were a lot of domes of various sizes. He saw things like small saucers with windows. They were stored next to crater sites, sometimes in caves, sometimes in what looked like airfield hangars. I found long, tube-like things, machinery, tractor-like things, going up and down hills, straight roads extending some miles, obelisks which had no apparent function. There were large platforms on domes, large cross-like structures, holes being dug into crater walls and floors obviously having to do with some kind of mining or earth-moving operations. Swan reported houses in which someone obviously lived. I couldn't see who, save in one case. In that case, I saw some kind of people busy at work on something I could not figure out. The thing about them was that they were human or looked exactly like us, but they were all males, as I could well see since they were all butt-ass naked. They seemed to be digging into a hillside or a cliff. Before we go on, bookmark this thread to read next. And go, Swan. Oh, this is another one. Oh, a visit to Jupiter. We'll visit that at a later date, but anyway, back to the moon. In his psychic state, studying the dark side of the moon, Swan noticed some of these guys started talking excitedly. Then 2 of them pointed in my direction, and he fled. How could they do that unless they have some kind of high psychic perceptions too? He asked Axel. Axel gave another cryptic response. Please quickly come away from that place. Axel is he's just a mysterious guy. He doesn't really let out a lot of information. Anyway, then he told Swan that they should end their work. You already know that they have some kind of telepathy, that they can trace where this psychic probe is coming from, Swan alleged. Axel replied, we don't know, but that they do have things and capabilities we are here trying to understand is very apparent. We don't know, but that they do have that's a weird sentence. Anyway, Swan tried to make sense of what just had happened. If it's a telepathy, then it's a different kind, at least from how it is understood here on the Earth. It's not just telepathy either. It's more like they were feeling rather than seeing or picking up on mind vibes. It's more like it was sort of a dimensional thing, sort of a ripple in some kind of cross-dimensionality. They felt something, not particularly me, but something. And they knew what the ripple meant, like a sort of penetration of where they were. Wow. So, what do we learn here other than the moon doesn't rotate? And I don't know, but we've been having these guys, because we're so far behind on a lot of work at my place of work. We've had a lot of guys come in that are contracted out from a company that kind of has a base or a roster of different tradesmen. So we had this one guy come in a week or 2 weeks ago. He could have been one of these moon fellas because it looked like a clone of somebody. It looked like it took somebody's toe and just cut off a piece of like their skin and put it in a CRISPR machine and cloned it into quasi man. I don't really know. A lot of that talk about the moon. So say the moon doesn't rotate and it's just up there, especially with all the UFO talk we had last year with the drones and everything, and then they just suddenly disappear out of nowhere. Strange. UFO sightings were kind of up more last year than ever before. You see, there's always a possibility of other life out there. I mean, we are one of the younger galaxies in the solar system, or one of the younger solar systems in the galaxy, excuse me, and we're the only ones with intelligent life. I mean, it makes sense. If we went to the moon in 1969 and haven't been back since, what happened? What did they see? What did they find? What's up there that we don't want to go back and check out? Or did we get everything we had to off of the moon? I don't know. It leaves you with a lot of questions. It could leave you with a lot of anxiety. But the best way to handle your questions or your anxiety or your stressful moments is to just breathe. Just take a deep breath or breathe in a specific way. And one of those specific ways is going to be taught to us by Energy Up. Box breathing is the most powerful yet ignored biohack on Earth. It fixes chronic fatigue, anxiety, and weak immunity. It's so effective that Navy SEALs and NBA stars use it daily. I've tested this myself and it does wonders. Here's how to perform box breathing the right way. First, you get on your knees. No, just kidding. The thread goes on to say, you breathe over 22,000 times a day on autopilot, but most do it wrong. Fast, shallow chest breaths that stress your system. This one silent habit could be wrecking your health more than junk food. Here's the quiet killer, though. Each shallow breath flips on your stress response. Cortisol floods your system. The cost, anxiety, foggy brain, sleepless nights, a body stuck in survival mode. Box breathing works by breaking this cycle. Named for its 4 equal parts that form a box pattern, this technique has been used by elite military, high-performing athletes, and meditation masters for centuries. Why? Because it fundamentally changes how your body functions. The science hits deep. Box breathing flips a switch on your vagus nerve, the body's calm command center. In seconds, you shift from panic mode to peace mode. This isn't just chill vibes, it's a full body reboot. In this parasympathetic state, your body lowers blood pressure and heart rate, increases digestion efficiency, boosts immune function, enhances cognitive performance, reduces inflammation markers. All from a simple breathing pattern you can do anywhere, anytime. Tired of brain fog, bloating, low energy? The System version 2.0 is your no-fluff roadmap to fixing your gut, hormones, skin, and sleep fast. Feel better, think sharper, live stronger. Here's the exact formula. Breathe in through your nose for a 4 count. Hold that breath for a 4 count. Exhale slow through your mouth for a 4 count and hold the empty breath. Timing is everything. Don't speed it up. Let's take 16 seconds and all do it together. In 3, 2, 1. I actually feel relaxed. The key difference between success and failure is in the execution. Most people breathe from their chest, which limits oxygen intake and vagus nerve stimulation. Instead, breathe from your diaphragm. Place a hand on your belly and make sure it expands with each inhale. Research proves that 5 minutes of box breathing drops blood pressure and slashes cortisol. It boosts heart rate variability, the ultimate stress shield. Keep at it, and these gains multiply faster than you think. And they do, because cortisol is a hormone that gets released through your system that can help you maintain and hold on to visceral fat that covers your organs. Cortisol is a slow and silent killer for the heart. People who die young of heart attacks typically have a high cortisol level. People who run a lot typically have a high cortisol level, which kind of gives me the indication that this is something I need to do on a daily basis, which is an easy technique to use. In for 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's not that bad. 5 minutes a day. 5 minutes of that? Come on now. Anybody can do it. The most common mistakes are rushing through the counts, not fully emptying the lungs on exhale, tensing the shoulders and neck, and giving up before experiencing benefits. I mean, you can relate that just right to the podcast. Imagine if I gave up on the podcast 10 weeks in, or at any point throughout this last year. Never give up on anything. You want to do something, do it, and just keep doing it if it makes you happy. Patience creates transformation. And that's true. I mean, it took me 7 months to really see the results of the lifestyle changes that I was making. That's almost a year. It took me a year to see the results of Bookmarks with Bump. I mean, my apprenticeship took 3 years. It's about patience and persistence. You work hard while you're patient. You work at it. You just keep showing up. Box breathing's power goes way beyond quick calm. Regular users see deeper, more restful sleep, sharper focus and creativity, smoother emotional control, more energy all day, a tougher immune system. This isn't hype. The science backs it up. Tired of brain fog, bloating, and low energy? This is an ad, and I don't give out free ads. So thanks to Energy Up _ for the thread. I hope everybody followed along. I hope everybody begins to practice box breathing, because that's something that I'm going to use on a daily basis. You know, I learn things while doing this podcast. That's one of my favorite things about doing it is I've put these threads on the shelf for a long time. And I had no excuse or time or reason to just sit on my phone and read these things. But if I break up the 30 minutes to an hour once a week to sit down and go through some of these threads, not just for myself or with myself, but with an audience, with people who are seeking health and fitness advice, seeking time to slip away and read a fun story about somebody psychically traveling to the moon using remote viewing. I'd like to psychically travel to Aruba while I'm at work and just set some tools from the beach. That would be nice. Or whether it's about learning about Mansa Musa and the way he ruled the world with a golden thumb. That's all of the reason why I sat down. I mean, it's always been easier for me to let my insides out onto a microphone. I have a history in music. I've spent time on the stages, and it's just a natural thing for me to do. Moving forward with Bookmarks with Bump, the goal for this year, the goal for these next 52 episodes is to add a video component. So if you're on YouTube, please subscribe. It's just only going to get better, and it's all up from here. If you're on any of the other platforms, as always, leave a rating, leave a review, leave a comment, subscribe, like, do what you got to do to remind yourself this is a show that you want to come back to. You can find me on social media, on Twitter at Bump of TTS, Instagram, TCGXBump. Follow the new TikTok, bookmarkswbump. I'm not giving out my Snapchat anymore. I get too many pictures of penises, and the numbers are true to roof. If you find me, just click the link to the podcast and listen every Sunday. We're up, we're on at 4 a.m., so you know what's up when you are. As always, it's all love. God bless. I'm a night rider. I've been riding a wave like I surf. I've been leaning in and out of work. I could show you what it's worth. Money to the ceiling. I started at the dirt. I've been riding wave like I surf. I've been leaning in and out of work. I could show you what it's worth. Money to the ceiling. I started at the I'm a night rider. Every time that I go up past midnight, I swear I get higher. Swear I gotta get higher now. I'm a night rider. Every time that I give what I got, I supply that fire. I supply that fire, man. I'm a night rider. Every time that I go up past midnight, I swear I get higher. Swear I gotta get higher now. I'm a night rider. Every time that I go up past midnight, I swear I get higher. Swear I gotta get higher, man.